Hey, live. What's up? How's it going? I just realized before I started the stream, I'm wearing the same shirt this time as I was last time I streamed. I got to do better. No, it's okay. Hope some people show up. We are going to have a quite a chat today, I'm sure, because this last time y'all heard from me was extremely controversial. Hey, Mary Grace. Hey, Steven. What's up? Yes, people I know. What's going on? Yeah, so I'm sure this could be a really interesting conversation today because I certainly did not expect that Floor Jansen video to. I had no idea that I was going to get the kind of response I did from it, and I'm still not exactly sure what to do about all of it. So um, it's been an interesting last week and a half. I've been given more creative insults than I think I've ever heard in my entire life. So, hey, Water Blanc, what's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Hope we can have some good conversations, some good chat today. Have my water with me. I've been for some reason today I'm a little like phlegmy. Things are like so I've been drinking a lot more water. So forgive me if I have to get up a couple times. Seems like my webcam is kind of like getting clear and then unclear. Jansen? It's Jansen? Yeah, we Americans. I talk American. Jansen. Floor Jansen. Wow, interesting. Yeah, we Americans English is like the weirdest language. I I feel bad for anyone who has to learn English after they've learned another language because we have the strangest pronunciations and compared to other like uh, when um when we when I have students, I like to teach the Italianate vowels, like so E A A O U, but in English that's um I E A O U. So when I teach E A A O U, it's like reteaching people how to speak the vowels that they've learned, and I don't know why English uses such strange vowels, but yeah, I've all I've heard about Dutch is that it's a very difficult language and that it's got a lot of you know, like weird little idiosyncrasies that other languages don't. I don't know. The first U is a diphthong. Yawn. Wow. I'd have to hear that pronounced. Janssen? Is that it? Janssen? 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 Wow. Okay. I'm terrible at this. Janssen? Faster. I don't know. Remind me not to sing a song in Dutch. I would butcher it. It would be terrible. Is there like a somewhere that is there someone that I could like hear someone say it? Is there like a Janssen? Is that it? Janssen. Oh, oh, okay. Janssen. Very great. Come to Discord. Okay. Well, all right. Let me. By the way, if you're not on the Discord server, you should come join it because we have some great talks, great discussions. Let me see. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to pronounce Janssen. I don't know. You. I can't do it. I can't do it. Now, if I saw the IPA, I might be able to figure it out. IPA helps me a lot, but um, yeah, I'm in the Discord, but I don't think that I can actually jump in the audio at the same time that I'm on live chat. I don't think it'll let me do that. I'm not sure, but I'm yeah, okay. So um I don't know if you guys can still hear me or not, but I'm in the Discord as well. Can you still hear me in the live chat? Hey, can you hear me? Okay, so he's gonna tell me how to pronounce this stuff so I can get it right. If you're talking, I can't hear you. All right, so Water Blanc is gonna tell me how to say this correctly because I'm I'm American. Oh, he hasn't said it yet, but I'm gonna get it right. When he says it, I'll be able to say it. Hey, okay, there we go. Okay, Floor Jansen, 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 Floor Jansen. And how about Anarchy? How is hers pronounced or whatever? Oh, I'd like to hear it, even if I don't say it. Bergen. It has that like that Bergen, ja, achlaut kind of thing. Here's Bergen, Bergen, van here's Bergen. Van here's. It's tough. That's an interesting language. Is it? I don't know. Like I don't know anything about this stuff. Is it similar to Swedish at all, or is it not? Okay, yeah. See, I wouldn't know. Hmm. Okay, well, I'm okay at singing German, but interesting. Cool. Well, thanks for the insight. I'm gonna try not to butcher it. I'll do my best. Okay. Okay, so I just got to make a fool out of myself in front of the world trying to say Janssen, 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 Janssen. I think I got it. I don't know. Yeah, like these Latin is not okay, so here's the thing about Latin. Um I always I think singing Latin is a little bit different than speaking it. I've always learned that when like the Latin vowels are very easy, but the consonants can be like kind of varied. Um, like like the T consonant in Latin can be done like four different ways depending on the context. But I mean, I've probably sung more in Latin. Well, I guess it would probably. I mean, obviously English since it's my first language, but Latin and Italian are the two languages that I've sung the most frequently outside of English, and then German. But Latin is never. I've never had a lot of trouble with it. It's always seemed pretty simple, except for when it comes down to specific consonants. Like quia fecit mihi magna, like the way that like I know that was well, that was one of my favorite. It was very difficult, but that was one of my favorite Latin pieces, a Bach piece that I sung. And but it wasn't particularly difficult to pronounce the vowels. It's just like mihi. Mihi was like it's we like in English letters it'd be mihi, but um the H is like mihi instead of mihi. It's like this kind of weird mihi sort of thing. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I learned very quickly from that last video that I need to be more prudent with what I say about European countries. I'm not familiar enough. I'm not familiar enough with the differences between the countries. Like I someone in the comments said that Finland technically wasn't Scandinavia. Like I didn't know that. I thought that that little group of countries was all Scandinavia. So I'm I'm definitely I'm definitely still trying to figure all that out. I'll learn. I'll learn. Well, getting kind of involved with people around the world kind of causes you to realize that there's a lot of things that you don't know um, about that kind of thing about singing in different languages, and doing things that were or that originated in different countries than where you're from. Can we learn singing slash vocals at any age, and if yes, how? So, well, yeah, I mean, singing is singing. Like, I don't think that there's a singing kind of has this like uh glamour to it, like it's like it's some big great grandiose thing, but singing is just making noises, and we just assign pitches to those noises. And so, yeah, I mean, anybody can learn to sing as long as you have the ability to differentiate pitches. Now, I mean, there are people like John Cage that argue that any sound you make is music, and I mean, that's a philosophical discussion that's totally different. But if you talk about singing in like the sense of we are singing to a song, um as long as you can match pitch and you can learn how to manipulate the sound of your voice to move to the notes that are needed, yeah, I mean, anybody can learn to sing. And then from that point, it's just a process of developing a fundamental subset of coordination and being able to coordinate things more easily. I mean, singing is somewhat athletic in the sense that it requires multiple body parts to be working in tandem in very specific ways to work well. So, yeah, I mean, I think that anybody can learn to do that. The biggest gap that I find for people that are really struggling to learn to sing is pitches. Like, a lot of times I find that if someone is struggling with hearing pitches and matching pitches, that's going to be the biggest barrier to entry for singing for them. Most of the time, if you can match pitch, then developing technique is just a matter of using your body in different ways than what you're used to. So the ear is the core of all of it. And I've very rarely do I have to tell students like, I don't think you can do this. But the times that I have had to do that have been because their ear isn't just they can't develop the ability to hear pitches and understand. Well, I mean, don't worry about that water block. Singing's not for everybody, and it's okay. I mean, like, if you're an amazing guitarist, then we need those too. Like, it's not like singing is the be all end all. Would you do a video as a guide? So here's the thing. Good eye. I hope that we've been talking about languages. That's probably a terrible Australian accent. um, Here's the thing about me doing videos as guides. There is no one size fits all approach to singing. Like, I could sit here and give you, 10 pointers, but you might be an exception and only 3 of those pointers actually help you. Um, so hey, Martin, what's up? Martin Miller in the house. What's up, man? The uh, what was I saying with that? So there's one size fits all approach. I'm really opposed to that whole concept that like I can give a guide that's going to help everyone with their singing, because every single voice student that I have, Mary Grace is one of my voice students. Um, Martin Miller, who just came in here, he's one of my voice students, and I promise you that if you put their lessons side by side, they are totally different. Like, functionally, they'd be working on totally different things. So if I made a guide, like a single video that was like, this is your guide to singing, I feel like it would be disingenuous. Like, it would be disingenuous in that it might give some general pointers and rules, but it wouldn't necessarily give people something that is helpful to them specifically. I mean, the things that everyone needs to work on, like learn to breathe better. I've already done a video on diaphragm. Work on your ear. And I mean, ear training is a matter of, well, it's actually a process, but if you have trouble with your ear, then that's totally different from working on anything related to singing. Um, so the bare basics to get to a baseline where you can sing probably don't have as much to do with singing itself as they do other elements of other things. So, um, let's see. You feel like being illegal? Yeah. So it's interesting because I don't perform much anymore. Nicholas, where you been, man? What's up? Well, another one of my students. Hey, man, I miss you. I haven't seen you in ages. Um, the For me, I don't perform much anymore because I find it more stressful than cathartic. It used to be very cathartic to me, and it used to be something that I did. that I did, and it helped me relieve stress. But the more I got into it, and the more difficult repertoire I started doing, and the more I really delved into singing, like stage singing and perfecting it, it became more stress than catharsis. And as a result, I just walked away. Um, have you thought about analyzing an older video of a female singer that has vocal damage now? So here's the thing: every time I try to point out vocal damage, what I get the same pushback. Like the pushback I get is, well, you can use your voice however you want to, and if you want to damage your voice, that's your decision. And that it's completely true. And I have never ever am I going to try to argue that you know, no, you can't do things that are damaging to your voice. My whole thing in all of that is that I at least want my students or people as a whole to be aware of the things that they do that are destructive. You can point out multiple examples of singers with vocal damage. I use John Mayer and Adele as like two high profile names that are active now that have vocal damage. And I mean, they're great examples of it. And the biggest argument I always get is, well, their music is moving, it touches people. So why does it matter if it damages your voice? And I mean, that's fine. People have warned Adele over and over and over again that the things that she was doing was damaging her voice. I mean, you can just Google it. I mean, you can see all sorts of accounts of voice teachers telling her, like, you know, vocal damage, you're doing things that are destructive. She didn't care, and that's her choice. My issue comes in, my issue is twofold. One of my issues is that when other voice teachers like pass off everything as healthy and they say, like, oh, well, you can do anything that you want to do in a healthy way, because it's just, as far as we know, that's patently false. And then my other issue is for singers to do things and they don't understand the ramifications of them. So that's kind of philosophically what I sort of rail against. Every instrument I've learned by ear, which is pretty nice. Yeah, I learned guitar by ear as well. I mean, I'm not an amazing guitarist. I'm no Martin Miller or anything, but I can play okay. But yeah, I learned it by ear. Celine Dion. So yeah, I plan on branching off into more popular singers as time goes on. I kind of saw the backlash that I got from fans. Like, Floor was definitely the most popular singer that I'd ever analyzed, and maybe Steve Perry, but Steve Perry isn't as trendy as Floor is. And I didn't make the Floor video based on trends either. I just took a poll, and that's what I just took a poll, and I analyzed Floor because of it. So it wasn't like I was trying to follow some YouTube trend. Um, let's see. But yeah, I do plan on analyzing more popular singers, but I need to refine my content in a way to where I don't get, 50% dislikes just because I say that, a singer doesn't have perfect technique, because that wasn't my intention either. I actually made that video the same way that I made all my other ones, from the same approach. Like, I wasn't changing anything about my little formula that I have. So I don't know. It was weird. Um, Bjork video is coming. So there's been a lot of interesting developments that have happened. Um, a lot of interesting developments. I've gotten reached out to by some pretty interesting people. I've got some interviews I'm supposed to be doing pretty soon. So, like, I don't know. I'm also going to be changing the format. I'm probably going to be doing 2 videos a week. Um, one of them is going to be like short, maybe like a 5 or 10 minute long video about a specific singing subject. And then I'm going to do my regular vocal analyses. And I think that that'll give kind of a counterbalance to me just talking about a singer. You guys can actually hear some things that are more perspective based. I do want to eventually kind of do like a breaking down the myths series, where I do like a 5 or 6 minute long video once a week talking about specific subjects that people say, like, you know, oh, you can, if you do this, you can sing, kind of thing. That's, I want to debunk some of those things. But Bjork is coming for sure, absolutely 100%. However, people can still learn a healthy way to. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I just don't want people to hurt themselves. Like, if you can, yeah, I don't care how you sing, and if you know you're hurting yourself and you want to sing that way anyway, that's on you. I'm not going to judge you for that. But I want people to at least be able to make a conscious decision and say, okay, yeah, I'm going to scream. I realize that I might have to go on vocal rest for the next 3 weeks, but this is what I want to do. This is what I want to express. I'm going to do that. One of the biggest things that irks me is when people try to like justify it, like, oh, well, if I just make my voice stronger, it won't hurt me, because they're trying to justify their own behaviors. it's not true. And so I would like people to be aware of what they're doing. That's education, not ignorance, right? That's the whole idea. Don't be ignorant about it. Be educate yourself on what you're doing to your own body. It's just like, we have nutrition information on the food we eat, at least in America we do. So we can, in theory, learn the things that we're putting into our bodies, right? Well, I feel like people should do the same thing. And I think a lot of the voice coaches that like ignore that kind of thing, I think that it's disingenuous and bad. Like that's partly one of my goals here is to end up sort of showing the difference between a vocal pedagogue who shows the implications of what you do and helps you understand your voice, and someone who calls himself a voice teacher and just gives you whatever and doesn't really have you understand what you're doing to yourself in the process. I have a lot of opinions on that subject. I honestly feel like voice teachers should be held to higher standards. More, not like doctors necessarily, but I do feel like there should be some sort of standard held where, like, if you teach someone destructive, if you teach someone something destructive, they should know up front. There should be some kind of caveat or warning or something like, well, the thing you want to do is damaging to you, and you have to know this going into it, sort of deal. I don't think that it's fair to just people to like. It's not right for someone to pay me, for example. If someone paid me to teach them, and I taught them something that destroyed their voices, that's not their fault. Like, that's not the student's fault. The student trusted you because you presented yourself as a professional, and they paid you. So if they paid you to teach them something and then you teach them something that destroys their voice, I believe the teacher should be held accountable for that. That's my opinion, but that's how it should be. And I think that there's too many people out there that are just pandering to fan bases. And by pandering to those fan bases, it takes people like me who are trying to give like some real insight and give some like actual education on the subject, and making me look bad because I don't sit there and hero worship and say like, oh, Floor's the greatest ever. She's got no flaws. Everything's perfect. But it's not the truth. It's just not the truth. Some of the things that she did in the video that I analyzed are damaging to the voice in the long term, no matter how good it sounds. Something can something can sound great but still not be good for you. Big Macs, well, hypothetically, Big Macs taste really good, right? McDonald's sells cheap food that tastes good, right? But the Big Macs aren't good for you. So something can sound good and not be good for you. And there needs to be a distinction made. The problem is that people like me, I come in and I make these statements that kind of point these things out, and fans don't like to hear that. All they want to hear is like their singer's the best. They have they're the best fan base. Oh, Tarya's no good. It's all Floor. Like, butt heads. It's like this need for entropy or conflict, or like a good guy, bad guy. When that's not the fight that I want to pick at all. Like, my goal was strictly to sort of, say, hey, at least you can know what these people are doing. Like, this is what they're doing to make the sounds that you like. So anyway, I ranted a little bit about that, but I wanted to say that for a while, but I feel like my intentions in my last video got like completely misconstrued, misinterpreted by fans that that jumped in and attacked me. Like, it was hurtful at first because I was like, why are these people like hating on what I'm doing? Like, I'm not trying to bash anybody, and like, honestly, that was probably the worst response to anything that I've ever done in my entire life, like of anything. So like getting that much negative feedback all at once was kind of like, what? Like, it hit me kind of hard. I mean, I'm good, everything's fine, but like it caused me to really reevaluate the way that I'm going to have to approach talking about some of these things. Let's see. I missed a bunch of comments. Let's see. Is it more challenging to sing in a language you don't speak in Italy? Yes. I just sent Martin a recording of me singing in German, and he's going to have a good laugh out of that. Billie Eilish. Eilish? I've never heard who that is. I think of Chester Bennington. Great performer, used a lot of strain, a lot of push, high larynx, a lot of neck tension. Might see me all over the comments. I no issue with any of your critique. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you were able to listen to it objectively, because I don't want to disrespect the intelligence of my audience. I make the videos under the assumption that people are capable of putting their emotions aside and listening to something as objectively as I listen to, to music. Um, and so, maybe I overestimated people's ability to do that, but that's not going to change what I do. I'm going to continue to respect the intelligence of my audience. I'm not going to like dumb things down or make things like super shallow just to appeal to people. I'm not going to do that. Analyze Art Garfunkel, sure. Yeah, one day, definitely. Yeah, I could definitely put him on my little list of singers. Yeah, Tori Amos is someone that I've been considering for a while as well. There's some singers that I just keep thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to analyze this person, and then something comes up that's like more pressing. So, but Tori Amos is definitely on the list. As someone I've been thinking of for a while. Hey, Rainey, that's my girlfriend, Rainey Palmer. Everyone say hello to Rainey. I do think that if you analyze popular singers, what happens if fans will find the video expecting to praise them? Well, so I have a little plan in mind for that. SkyQuest. I have a little plan in mind, and you. So all I'm going to say is, since you guys care enough to come into the live stream, I'm going to give you a tip. There's going to be a video coming up pretty soon that I think you all are going to be pretty surprised about, and I've got a plan to deal with that very issue. I do think that these like you know super fans, they're going to come in expecting a certain thing, and I will take care of that. You just summarize T. Yeah, yeah. I'm not going to get into him right now, but yeah, there. I have a few things about a few. I have a few issues with some things that he said that are just patently false, and I will get there when I'm popular enough. And I know that's arrogant of me to say, but when I feel like I'm like well known enough to where I can have an impact, I'll make a video specifically about him, because some of the things that he said have been patently irresponsible and incorrect, and I'll get there. I'm slightly off topic question. When I'm speaking English, trying to repress my accent, the larynx is in a disposition where it naturally sits. Well, I don't think so necessarily. I don't think it's unhealthy, because every language, you have to have sort of slightly different vocal configurations to make the sounds that are needed for each language. So I don't think that the position of the larynx is necessarily a bad thing when speaking. Singing is such an athletic thing that it requires so much more engagement from the body as a whole, that when you have the larynx in an awkward position and putting incorrect amounts of work on the voice, that's when it becomes unhealthy. So I don't want you to think that like the larynx should be low all the time or something. It's not like that. I'm like blowing my nose a lot. Like, so sorry if I feel it sounds like I'm rough. I might even have to like use some Kleenexes in a bit. I'm not feeling 100% today. So I apologize for that. Let's see. I love Floor, but I found the analysis much more interesting to go. So Ghost Love Score. Here's why I didn't use Ghost Love Score, and I'm sorry, I've got to say it. There was pitch correction used throughout it. There was a lot of pitch correction. It wasn't egregious and it wasn't terrible, but I can't give a proper analysis of a video if it's full of pitch correction, because then what happens is what I see does not represent what I hear. And part of my analysis comes from combining what I can see and what I can hear. And so if something has pitch correction, I'm not getting an accurate representation of what's actually happening. And the one that I analyzed, the song that I analyzed, it may have had some touch ups, but I don't think it had much, if any, pitch correction on it. And so when I'm not going to, what I find so ironic about all these reaction videos to Ghost Love Score is that they praise these singers for these recordings they're doctored. They're not even like the raw recording. They're not even like necessarily what the singer's doing. So one thing you can always rely on is that when I pick a video to analyze, even if the singer is even if this it's not their best performance or it's not the most popular song, I'm going to try to find the most raw or least overly edited recording that I can possibly find. I've seen so many videos they talked about healthy screaming, like every single React to Ginger vid. Yeah, well, that's one of my mission statements. I'm going to rid the world of this concept of healthy screaming. One day I'll get there. I guess you struck a chord. Very funny vocal cord. Very funny. There's a lot of very mean comments. You don't think it's your fault? Yeah, well, it happens. So lack of wipe the floor puns. Oh my gosh. Sinead O'Connor, maybe. That would be. I haven't thought about Sinead O'Connor. That'd be interesting. Don't change a thing in your videos. I'm not gonna change. Art and assignment, yeah. Art and assignment at the same time would be good. Tom Waits, yikes. That would be an interesting one. Without negative but constructive critique, people cannot learn. Exactly. Like, so, like, what? Well, here's the thing. Like, what do those fans think that Floor does in her in her lessons with her private teachers? Do they sit there for an hour and say, "Floor, you're a goddess. You're the best ever." No. The voice teacher does the same thing that I do. They listen to the sound they create and they give feedback on it, and they help Floor develop as a singer as a result of it. So I don't understand why people expect the voice teachers that talk about this stuff to have nothing but good things to say. It doesn't seem like a fair like standard. I don't know. I have not considered analyzing a harsh vocalist vocal style because I'm not versed in the subject matter. I know what the mechanism does to create the sound, but I don't know anything about the techniques that people use. And I don't want to talk about a subject I'm not well versed on. Lane Staley, that's another one. Like I've been meaning to do Lane Staley. It's just things keep coming up. But that's definitely on the list. Let's see. Most Floor fans didn't have issues with your analysis. They had issues with Taria fans trying to bash her using your video. That's because they used to bash any other singers, not Taria. Well, I see. I don't want to get into that. Like, if your fan base has issues, then that's you guys can settle your own way. Like, I don't I don't care about Nightwish. Like, I don't care about a lot. Like in terms of their music, and I don't care about a lot of the singers that I've analyzed. But I feel like why does my camera keep doing that? There we go. I feel like everyone can provide teachable moments. Like it wouldn't matter who the singer was, but I used Floor Jansen because the poll that I took afterwards said people said they'd rather see Floor than Bjork. And so I had no intention of stirring up something in the fan base by doing that. Like that was completely not my goal here. Prince would be an interesting one too. Yeah, I could consider Prince. Prince is he has some very unique vocal methods or things the ways that he does things for sure. Um, Semi growl like Phil Anselmo. Yeah, maybe. I kind of see him like Lemmy. That analyzing him alongside Lemmy would, it'd be hard to analyze Lemmy because so much of what he does is just not good. Not good for you. So I'd be saying a lot of that's not healthy. That's not healthy. It's on like a broken record. Yeah, I did do a video on harsh vocals. Yep. I hate that why does everything need so much correcting? Here's why. And a buddy of mine who's also a guitar teacher that I work with, who is also he's a recorder, he's a producer. He's told me very clearly, music is not a recording is not it's not a performance, it's a production. It's when you hear music that's like recorded, they're not trying to just give you a raw recording anymore. They want to make a production. Who's a singer I really care about? Um, really care about. I care about my students. I mean, uh, I enjoy a lot of singers, if that's the question. But I mean, I don't. When I listen to music, I turn this off unless I want to turn this on. Like what I mean by that is like I don't have to spend my time listening to music analyzing their technique, but it's just a thing that when I need to use it, I do. If that makes sense. Um, Yeah. So Mary Grace is one of my in-person students. She takes lessons from the studio that I work at. So um, I work with her a great deal. She's an incredible talent. She's gonna be a star one day for sure. Compliance liability. What are your thoughts on Chino Marino of Deftones? So yeah, I've seen Chino's live performances a few times. I've never seen Deftones live, but I've seen a few videos of him. I I think that a lot of it is the amount of air that he pushes through. He puts through when you push through that much extra air when you sing, it can really affect your vocal efficiency for sure. And I think that that's probably why he sounds so bad live. Yeah, Julie Andrews is a very common case of overuse and over singing causing vocal damage, and that would be someone worth analyzing in the future for sure. So Kurt Cobain, I couldn't really analyze Kurt Cobain probably. I mean, because it's just so all over the place. There's no real technique about that at all. He's just making sound. I mean, it would just come across as me bashing him if I did that. Nightwish is not you, it's them. Nightwish's fan base. Yeah, they are very divisive. Yep, for sure. Brian Johnson, he's well, that's same thing as like Lemmy. He just kind of does his own thing, and I would be doing a lot of like that's not a healthy thing. John Mayer's vocal style is unhealthy because he puts it's similar to Chino from Deftones. There's too much air going through the sound. His breath to voice ratio causes the folds not to fully close a lot. And when that happens, when the folds don't fully close, the points that don't close, the points that do close take too much work, and it can cause things like nodules. And John Mayer has had nodules, so that's what's unhealthy in particular about his style. Fabio Leone is coming, definitely. That's another one on the list. That's coming soon, coming soon to a channel near you. I'll be right back. I need to go blow my nose. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, I'm back. A 12-year-old ventriloquist, huh? Interesting. I've never thought about doing anything like that. I have to see it. I mean, there might be something to learn from it. I don't know. Yodeling unhealthy. I don't know how to yodel, so I can't say for sure. From what I hear, trying to carry, well, I'm flipping into your head voice like that, I don't think is unhealthy. I don't know. I'd have to learn more about what happens in the process of yodeling. I'm just like thinking of the sound in my head. I don't think so. I don't think it's unhealthy, but I don't know. I don't think so. How much can a damaged voice recover? Excellent, excellent question. It is dependent upon the degree of injury. I had a mild vocal injury when I was in college, and I caught it. And I did some voice therapy, and it was good. Everything was fine within a couple of months. It wasn't because I was over singing in terms of my technique. It was because I was using my voice too much. Um, I was in college and I was singing every day. Had lessons. I had choir rehearsals. I had opera rehearsals. I had ear training, psych singing classes. I had vocal studios, all that kind of stuff when I was in college. So sometimes I was singing 5 and 6 hours a day, which is terrible for you. So I was singing too much, and that I had a minor vocal injury from it. So minor injuries don't take long to recover at all. But if you've had like a rupture or a hematoma, or you've had like major nodules that have been laser removed, you may never fully recover. But that's why you got to be careful from the young age, from the outset, of being healthy. Because if you develop these bad habits, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to solve them, fix them, over time. It's going to be very hard, and the damage will compound itself, and it won't be able to be recovered. I mean, it's tough. Which vocalist would be like number one on your list? Number one on my list. What genre? What genre? That's really important. Pop. Hmm. Pop. Number one pop vocalist. I got to think about that. Because see, if I make a statement on who I think it is, I don't want people to conflate that with them being a healthy singer, because I can like singers that don't sing in a healthy way. Um, Number one pop singer, male or female? Female. Probably either Kimbra or Saint Vincent. Probably, yeah, Kimbra or Saint Vincent. Um, I would not say that either of them have amazing technique in terms of vocal health, but I definitely like their style a lot. You surprised Martin? Yeah, I love St. Vincent. I love the music. I mean, it's well written. I mean, it's just interesting music to me. Um, so, but I would not say that she has great vocal technique. Let's see. Can you do a video about yourself, like what you do in your spare time, what your favorite artist is? I didn't answer the question. For my favorite pop male singer would probably either be is it Josh Bellamy? Is it Josh Bellamy from Muse? What's his name? Uh, so Josh Bellamy's a football player. Matt Bellamy from Muse. He's probably my probably one of my favorite pop singers. Um, and then I like the dude from I like uh, Tame Impala's music. I mean, he uses a really uh, really covered like breath heavy sounds is not healthy. I would not recommend doing it in the long term. But I like some of Tame Impala's music. But I don't listen to a ton of like pure pop. So my knowledge on the subject's pretty limited. Um, can you make a video about yourself, like what you do in your spare time, what your favorite artist is? Well, so you see the Super Nintendo logo right there, and so I play a lot of video games. I play chess. I play poker. I play Magic the Gathering. I hang out with my girlfriend a lot, or at least whenever I can. Uh, what else do I do? Play a lot of video games. I teach and I sing, and like that's basically uh, that's basically my life. um, that's not really my like I'm kind of a normal dude, a gamer dude, basically outside of doing music stuff. Um, let's see. My favorite artist of all time, Johannes Brahms. Brahms is my favorite composer of all time, hands down. Favorite artist of all time for sure. Any artists you think have dramatically improved as their careers progressed? These are good questions. I have to think. I don't have like instant answers. I got to think about it. I actually think that Casey Crescenzo from the Deer Hunter has improved as a singer. I don't think that his like fundamentals and like his sustainability has improved, but I do think that he's gotten better at using his voice. So Casey Crescenzo of the Deer Hunter. My favorite singer that has good technique. Well, I mean that would be like Thomas Hampson, like some like operatic baritone, probably, or Dietrich Fischer-Dieskau or Bryn Terfel. Um, but in terms of the non-classical, honestly, it's hard to find non-classical singers that have really good technique. Um, there've been a few that I've analyzed, but they're very rare. I mean, in good technique, I mean like healthy technique, like something that's like consistently sustainable. A lot of singers in the contemporary realm use a lot of push and a lot of force to create their sound. So that's a tough question. Um, See, I mean, guys like Daniel Gildenlow and Mike Patton, they're kind of just freaks. Um, and I can't really justify how they do what they do. I really enjoy them, but I can't justify, I can't explain how they do what they do. And I can't explain how it's been sustainable for them. Trying to think of somebody else. I think that early James LeBrie was pretty sound, until he started doing all that raspy stuff. He had pretty okay technique. So early James LeBrie, like 1991, 1992. Even though I like the Awake album the most, which is the one where he does the most like harsh stuff. So, um, let's see. Yeah, the Unplugged, maybe. Maybe that's worth thinking about doing the Nirvana unplugged video. That's worth a consideration. I reckon Kimbra's pop. Yeah, I think Kimbra's pop. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think she's pop music. Metal Queen Floor Jansen. Did I get it right that time? If you missed the beginning of this live chat, I was Water Blanc was trying to teach me how to say Jansen. I think I got it right, but maybe not. Muse is very interesting. Pop singer has really good vocal technique. Steve Perry, his technique's pretty good. Um, Mariah Carey was very good sometimes for a while. Um, let's see. When he hit higher notes, he always sticks. James Labrie sticks his tongue out. It does not help. It doesn't help. Sticking your tongue out does not help you sing. That's one of the bad things that he does. Um, when James Labrie sticks his tongue out, I think Jamie Vendera is the guy who taught him like stuff after his vocal injury. It's sticking your tongue out does not help you sing because sticking your tongue out actually negatively impacts the way that you phonate. Gosh, sorry guys, what is going on today? The reason for this is that when you say things, like I can't open my mouth, but when you talk, right, you can see the tongue moving. Every time I say a word or change vowels, my tongue moves and takes a different shape and a different position because there's your resonators and there's your articulators, and the articulators help you create the speaking sounds and make your words distinctive. When you push your tongue out, I can't even talk like that. I can't even say the word listen. Like you can't. It doesn't help you make phonation at all. And I don't know where people get these ideas, but there's nothing scientific suggesting at all that sticking your tongue out helps your singing in any way. And I can give you clear demonstrative reasons as to why it doesn't. It completely impedes the role that the tongue has in phonating and making sound in the way the sound comes out. So no, that's ridiculous. V and V Nation. I don't know what that is. Jamie Vendera is the guy who breaks glass. That's him. It's just a gimmick. Why? Someone tell me, why does being able to break glass with your voice mean that you're a good voice teacher? Someone please enlighten me. I'm open to the idea, but someone please tell me how. Like I don't understand it. Singing like King Diamond, I would imagine, probably is damaging. Um, do you think it was worth James ruining his voice to create timeless? So, that's the age-old question, and it's like Adele. Adele traded her voice for $100 million, right? I mean, it's tough. In my mind, I want there to be a balance. I want someone to do as much as they can, um, healthily and sustainably, while creating as great of a performance as possible. Now, I'm never going to sit there and say I said this earlier today. You can't make that sound, like you're not allowed to do that. But I prioritize vocal health, and I think that there are ways to have wonderful, dynamic, beautiful, amazing performances while being healthy. So, um, was it worth him ruining his voice? No. Could he have delivered it differently where he sustained his voice more? Sure. Do I love the album? Yeah. So maybe that sounds hypocritical. Maybe it sounds inconsistent, but that's kind of the I don't know. It's tough. It's a good question, and I would say that I would prefer someone to be healthy. That's my answer. I think Floor's a great singer, but not that good. People, her technique of singing is the same as Simone or Floor is a fine singer. There was nothing wrong with Floor singing. Like, I mean, I don't see why people got the impression that I was saying that she was like a bad singer because she's not. I've only listened to Ghost a couple of times. I'm not really super familiar with him. Yeah, singing with distortion is bad. It's not. There's no science that says that it's healthy. People are going to try to take their little like self-hired doctors and their like internal studies that show that what they do is healthy, but you put all that stuff out into peer review. Nope. There are no academic journals that have anything about screaming or distortion or anything in any kind of sustainable way. I'm all for studying it. I'm all for a longitudinal study being done, but until that happens, nope. I'm not going to get behind any of that stuff. Peter Steele. Peter Steele. Who is he? I've heard the name, but I don't remember where he's from. I feel bad for bringing James up. Oh, it's fine. It's total. This channel started because of James Labrie, so I can't knock the dude too much. Has Ozzy ever sung in Healthy Way? Probably not. Probably not. I haven't listened to much Typo Negative. I've only heard a little bit, like a few songs. I've never listened to much of them, so I don't know. Good questions. Yeah, and Tori Amos is definitely on the list for sure. Thoughts on Ken Tamplin? Oh, you're trying to get my channel shut down? Ken Tamplin comes after people who speak negatively of him. Sorry, I got to blow my nose again, guys. I'm sorry for doing this on camera. Oh, gosh. Oh, I woke up and something's going on today. I was fine yesterday. I woke up and there's something going on. Yeah, Ken Tamplin. So here's what I'm going to say. Be diplomatic about this. I've studied the voice. I'm 31, almost 32. I started studying voice when I was 15, 16. I went to college for 7 years. 7 years of academic voice study. I've taken private voice study almost throughout the entire 15 years. And I've been teaching voice for going on 4 years in a professional setting, not just privately, like in a professional like environment. And it wasn't until I got on YouTube that I ever heard the term compression being attached to singing at all. And this is under me studying under multiple people with PhDs in voice, multiple people with massive like classical singing backgrounds, sung in professional settings throughout their entire lives, and worked with like choral ensembles, individual singers, and I'd never heard the term vocal compression. My background and training was from bel canto, from classical singing. And certain individuals that that we may or may not be referring to here, say that compression is a bel canto concept that was revamped by him, but it's not. All my years of bel canto singing and learning about bel canto, I've never heard the word compression or anything like what he refers to as compression used at all. And that's in multiple academic settings under multiple professors from multiple pedagogical backgrounds. So you be the judge. You should cover Einar Solberg. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Einar Solberg has agreed to do an interview on this channel. And I'll prove it to all of you. Right now. Give me 1 second. I haven't been able to get him to do it yet. He's been busy. Ross and from Leprous and Einar, both. Probably can't see it too well, but oh, it's backwards. So I met him at the meet and greet of our concert. Yeah. At the meet and greet of their concert in Atlanta. I know you can't read this backwards, but he agreed to do an interview on the channel. So that's the reason I haven't analyzed Einar yet, because he's going to be doing an interview on this channel. So is Ross Jennings of Aiken. Just Ross, well, he was sick in December, so he didn't do the interview, but he's going to at the beginning of January. That's what he told me. So both of those, I know I keep saying it, but both of those, Ross and Einar, are both supposed to be on this channel at some point in the near future. Let's see. Short people have higher range. Not necessarily. I know some bases that are very short, so not necessarily. Getty Lee would be an interesting analysis one day for sure. Oh, Randy wants me to do Taylor Swift. I teach enough kids Taylor Swift songs at work that I could go without Taylor Swift. I like how nice Sam Johnson is. So, yeah, uh, Sam Johnson is nice. He is nice. I've watched his videos. He's a nice dude. Seems like he'd be a nice guy, but you know, there are some things that I think that these reaction people that call themselves voice coaches need to make a clear distinction up front. They need to tell people either A, I'm not doing critiques, I'm just going to tell you the things that I like, or B, they need to stop calling themselves voice coaches. Because just blindly telling everyone, yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's great. You know what that's going to do? Monkey see, monkey do. That's going to make people imitate. If a high profile voice teacher on YouTube tells everyone, oh, well, this singer has great this, great that, people are going to get the impression of like, oh, well, maybe if I try to sound like them, then, that'll work. But that's not responsible as a teacher. Like, I would rather make half a fan base mad at me, but know that there's some truth out there in the world than to just tell everyone everything's great, and then people try to imitate X singer and end up damaging their voices. And if that puts a cap on how popular this channel gets, I mean, that's fine. I'm not trying to get to be a million subscriber channel. I mean, that's not my goal. And I don't need to make $100,000 a month or whatever to be comfortable. That's, I don't need that. So, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about his content and a lot of these reaction video. Like, I don't see the point. I think reaction videos are a cancer on YouTube as a whole, um, because they cheapen content, not just mine, but they cheapen content similar to mine of multiple different areas and subjects. Like, if someone's like, people all the time ask me like, "Will I do a reaction video on X singer?" I don't do reaction videos. Like, I don't do reaction videos. I analyze up front, and then I record myself talking about those analyses afterward. But because there's this format of reaction video, it makes my content look the same, and it's not. I don't do reaction videos. So I'm not a fan of reaction videos at all. And I think the people that approach things that way are not good. Is there a safe way to do breathy vocals? No. No, 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 no. Because when you push more air through, what's happening is you're causing a disruption in the closure of the folds. So the more air you push through, the more the folds separate. The more the folds separate, the less evenly the work is distributed. The less evenly the work is distributed, the more likely you are to develop nodules. If you want to do a breathier, lighter sound, the better way to do it is to hold the air back and be quieter as you hold the air back. Martin and I are actually just working on that. The concept is called messa di voce. And so that's the messa di voce is a good way to have the light kind of airy sound and a quieter sound without putting all the air through it like this. So typically when you do breathy vocals, you're causing yourself potential vocal injuries. Let's take somebody else's achievement and name to boost their own profile. Exactly. Like, and so that's exactly right. And Martin's a big time YouTuber. By the way, I'm going to plug him. You guys should check out his YouTube channel. He's the man. He's amazing. He's an incredible guitarist, and you all should follow him as well. I'm honored. It's an honor and a privilege to get to work with him. There's that Hip Hop Head Reacts channel that gets so many patrons. He's so cringe. I haven't even watched that. Like, I try to avoid those videos. They make me feel they make me feel like dirty inside when I watch those things, because it's like I'm so passionate about this. Like, teaching voice, like the voice is like my number one passion in terms of my hobbies and my interests. And so like it hurts. Like not like make me want to cry hurts, but it's like those people are ruining like people like me, not just me, but other people who do things like I do, and they do exist out there. There are other people on YouTube. Michael Trimble, I bet you guys have never heard of him. I found his content. They actually showed it to me in Discord, the Discord server. They found it. Um, Michael Trimble is an amazing voice teacher, absolutely amazing. Like I disagree with him on a couple of little things, but it's nothing major. For the most part, his content is phenomenal. But I bet you've never even heard of Michael Trimble. Like because he gets downplayed by all this garbage like voice coach reacts to greatest singer ever, like and people completely overlook him. I think his content is phenomenal, but he's only got what 3,000 something subscribers, you know so that the reaction content is just it's really bad for music education as a whole, I believe. I think that's how, yeah, Tremble. Let me double check, but yeah, I think that it might be Trimble. Let me see. Trimble, Michael Trimble. Michael Trimble. He's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I mean, I just discovered his content, I think yesterday or the day before, and I've been watching it nonstop. And like he's what I aspire to be as far as a vocal pedagogue. He's got more credentials than me. He's done a lot more performing than I have. But that's if you want to see someone who's similar to my philosophy of teaching voice, he's the guy. He's phenomenal. Um, let's see. Can you maybe Nick Cave? I don't know who Nick Cave is. Yeah, Tristan Paredes charges 500 an hour. 500 an hour. That is I don't want to stir up a problem yet. Not till I've got enough of an influence on YouTube to make a point. But like, I'm gonna keep it to myself for now. I'm holding these things in. My girlfriend, has heard a lot of this stuff from me already, but I'm keeping it in. I'm not gonna talk about things publicly yet. But one day, it's coming. One day, this channel gets to a certain point. I'm going to make a video exposing so much of this stuff. I'm just gonna call people out. Period. And if that means that I get a million people come after me and all my videos get downvoted for the rest of my life, I mean that's fine. But 500 an hour is like I don't to give you some perspective. The top flight opera, not contemporary, the top flight opera teachers in Atlanta charge like 90 an hour, and it's in person. You meet with them in person. $500 an hour is it's just bad. It's bad. It's like I don't charge anything near that. My students can vouch for that. I don't charge anything near that. But so what they're doing is they're using their name as as the way that they use their name to they built their brand on YouTube, and by doing so now they can justify fame as that cost. Now some people charge that much so that it deters people. It's like a psychology. Like if you are willing to put down $500 on one, however, hour of voice instruction, one, you're going to convince yourself that it's true. And two, if you can't afford it, you're not going to waste his time. Like, and that's the thing. Like, some people set I think that people set the bar up, that the price that high sometimes, just to keep people from signing up. But if they do sign up, you're going to convince yourself. If you spend $500 on anything, you're going to convince yourself that it's money well spent. I mean, you pay 200 an hour for voice lessons? You should not be paying $200 an hour for voice lessons. Unless now, if it were like Pavarotti's teacher, yeah, okay, maybe, maybe, yeah. I mean, I can see that their time is worth it. But like, because they're going to offer you very exclusive insight that not many people in the world can offer. So yeah, that's worth it. But like, no. Oh my gosh. Well, Pat Metheny's a legend, though. He's an absolute legend, and like his walk matches his talk. Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you about reaction videos. I, I don't know. I'm not convinced that all of them are reactions. And I'm not convinced that all of them are reactions. Some of them may be, but I've seen some of them that just seem too fake, too manufactured, and they have too much insight about the singer. But so they get to certain points in the song, stop stressing. No, I'm not stressed out. It's just, I mean, I understand. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't try to make money. Making money is great, but you know, I believe in credentials, like real credentials, and being able to show your worth. And when your worth is more about your name than what you provide, I think that there's a problem. And there are lots of these online voice coaches who use their name that they built for them, their brand, to sell things. Did I get anything nice for Christmas? Um, what did I get for Christmas? I've already forgotten. uh, I got some gift cards for things. Um, I got some clothes, the run of the mill Christmas stuff. Had a nice dinner with my family. That was nice. Tristan is worth that much because people think, exactly. Yeah, they put down the money, which means he's worth it, like it or not. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that there's a problem when the brand is worth more than the product. It's a sign of a lack of good competition. And I think that if I can come in eventually and provide better education at a more reasonable price range, and YouTube content that provides more substance, hopefully people will start, there'll be some real competition that makes people think like, okay, well, this, you can't just say whatever you want and charge $500 an hour for it. I know Tristan says breast support is BS. I've seen that video. I've seen a lot of his videos of his BS series. How much did your music education cost you, and are you making enough with singing lessons to have a decent return on investment? It costs too much, and no, I'm not making enough money. But I'm not. I don't care. I mean, I love doing this, and that's why I did it in the first place. I didn't go into this expecting to be a millionaire. Um, so I mean, I would not recommend, if you're trying to get rich, to go into being a voice teacher. I would say that if you're trying to get rich. Um, let's see. I was curious. What is my own vocal range? So, um, uh, uh I don't know. I don't care about range that much. Um, if I'm talking about peaks, like where I can peak, like C2, I'm not very good with these numbers. I'm just starting to learn these numbers. I didn't learn these in college. C2 to like if I use my include my falsetto. Um, let's see. I'm trying to think. C2 is like on a really good day, or if I'm like super sick or something like that, I can like burp out a C2. C2 up to, let's see, including head voice, like an uh, A5 maybe. Is A5 like the A above the treble clef? I mean, if I'm does falsetto count? Technically, yes. Um, but if I'm taking falsetto out of the equation, um, and if I'm talking about like the range that I use the most, I would say um like F2 to like maybe F like E4. Yeah, F2 to maybe like E4 is the range that I use more than anything. That that's my modal register range. So I mean, when you talk about my falsetto, yeah, like if I talk about my peaks of my range on my best days, like C2 or like C2 to A4, probably. But I don't care about range. I'd rather be really good at the most comfortable part of my voice than to like try to like stretch my voice out. I don't really care about that much. Yeah, you don't ever use it. I mean, very infrequently do you use the extremes of the range, so I don't put much emphasis on it. Do I play instruments? Yes, I play guitar, drums, bass, and piano very horribly. But I'm no Martin Miller when it comes to guitar, so like I'm not that great. Um, Drums are just fun for me. Um, let's see. Putting health aside, you can roughly reach the same with mixed voices, falsetto. Yeah, you can. If you put health aside and you just like, oh, I don't have anything at all day. Like you just scream it out there or whatever. Yeah, I mean you can probably do whatever you can with falsetto and mixed voice as well. My voice is in rough shape today. I don't know what's going on. Am I a fan of death metal, or extreme metal? I don't know if you consider like Between the Buried and Me extreme metal. I like them. I like their early stuff. Um, let's see. Um, uh, well, yeah. Give me some examples of like extreme metal. I mean, Between the Buried and Me is the first thing. No, my sweet spot is not E4. No, 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 no. That's like that's no. That's the top end of my modal register. My sweet spot would definitely be like E3, F3. That's like that range is probably my sweet spot. A3, G3, stuff like that, around in there. Um, yeah, Between the Buried and Me. I like Native Construct, but they're kind of more progressive sounding. I actually teach um, Robert and Miles from Native Construct. But those aren't extreme. I don't think they're similar, kind of to Between the Buried and Me. Um, Respectively, do I play them all horribly? So voice is clearly my number one. Guitar would be my number two. Drums three. Piano four. Bass is like somewhere in the middle. Have I ever played in a band outside of classical music? Yes, I played in this terrible like metal band when I lived in Augusta, Georgia, called LIE. I played bass for them. I've got some videos on my old YouTube channel of I mean, the music wasn't very good, so um, I would not expect much out of it. But we were kind of like proggy, I guess. It's like heavy prog. I don't know what you'd call it, but it was just a fun thing I did when I was in college to kind of like counterbalance the. Like, it was really silly and kind of like a troll band, and I did so much like serious stuff at school that I kind of just did it for fun. If you guys ever want to get a laugh, there's one of our terrible songs that we did. Um, Bonjour, bonjour. But yeah, it was just it was just a little fun thing that we did. How's Bruce Springsteen still do 4-hour shows? There's a lot of possibilities. I can't say for sure because I don't know his own habits, like what he does. But a lot of times when you get to that age, you mark and you change keys. So like, excuse me, you take the keys down a good bit and you don't put as much on the voice. Could I front a metal band from a vocal standpoint? If they don't want me to do harsh vocals, sure. I would love to. If I mean, I've been writing music for a long time. I just haven't had anybody to really like do anything with. But yeah, I'd love to be a to be in a metal band. It'd be fun. I prefer to be progressive. Like I don't want to do like straight metal, but I know it'd be all clean vocals. But yeah, sounds like that'll be fun. Ça va, non, non, bonjour de l'Australie. Is that how you say that? I don't know. Maybe I did that terribly wrong. J'aime la France et le français. I love France and the French. Let's see. Could you do announce to Tommy Giles Rogers? I actually met him. I'm funny story. I actually have it sitting right by here. This is the Colors Live DVD. It just happens to be sitting here. I'm actually on this DVD. Um, yeah, I'm actually on this DVD in the documentary of all things. Ton, oh, ton accent français est vraiment bon. No, I don't speak French. I can read French a little bit, a little bit. I took French classes, um, and I can read it, and I can speak enough to get myself into trouble, but not much. Like I can basically tell you that I don't know how to speak French in French. I already tried some Dutch earlier, Finnish, all those like European languages, Northern European languages that I don't mix with those very well apparently. Let's see. French is more yeah. Yeah, I don't know Dutch at all, like none, no Dutch. Any trip tips on training the vibrato? Don't train the vibrato. When you're singing in a healthy way with the chords fully closed, the vibrato will happen on its own. Don't train People who try to make you make a force of vibrato is bad for you. If you're singing healthily, you won't have to try to make a vibrato. It'll happen on its own. I see some of these 80s bands like Def Leppard and Joe cannot hit the high notes anymore because they were pushing, they burned their voices out when they were younger. I mean, singing men's voice is lower in pitch as you get older anyway. So like there's no way you're going to be able to sustain as the larynx hardens, you can't sustain that super high stuff forever. Nobody can. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's up, Brian R? I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but what's up? Ever gotten into Bjork? I haven't listened to a lot of Bjork. I'm listening to more of it now than I'm trying to think of something to analyze. So Sharon Denadell from Within Temptation. Yeah, that's someone that's been recommended to me some too. Aniki's on the list from Devin Town, who sings with Devin Townsend. Aniki Van. Someone pronounced it. Waterblanc pronounced it. I'm not going to try to do it again. It was terrible, but yeah, she's somebody on the list too to analyze. I'm gonna spend about 10 more minutes and then I'm gonna take off. Ann Wilson's voice. So Ann Wilson has a very interesting timbre. Very interesting timbre. I don't know about how her voice developed. I haven't heard her recently, but her timbre is very unique, and I'd have a lot to say about her. Maybe I should do a video on her one day. Um, are Elvis and Frank Sinatra really as good as people say they are? Frank Sinatra, yes. Elvis, no. Um, Here's an interesting observation. Would you agree that generally speaking, untrained women are better singers than untrained men? Yes. because men's musculature is so weird and so funky that it's very hard to develop consistency with it. So, as a general rule, I would say that yes, women naturally sing more healthy than than men do, but without training. Do I think Justin Bieber has a good voice? It's hard to know. I don't know if I've ever heard him unedited before. Um, the duct taping unicorn. What's up? How you doing? Um, let's see. Ariana Grande. Okay, I'll do Ariana Grande. I'll analyze Ariana Grande one day. One day I will. You're killing me. Diamanda Galas. I don't know who that is. Basically, the male voice is harder instrument to play. I wouldn't say a harder instrument to play. I would say that it's more finicky. Big off topic. Oh, you can be off, dude. Ask me anything you want. We don't just have to talk about singing. I mean, I'm here to let you guys get to know me a little bit. Um, buy your hat. Are you a big gamer? I'm a huge gamer. I've been gaming my whole life. Actually, I used to be on an Overwatch team. We weren't that good. We played in a Razor event, um, and got crushed by these Koreans. It was really embarrassing. But I used to play a lot of Overwatch. But I mean, as far as like games, I'm a massive JRPG fan. I've been playing JRPGs as long as I can remember. I love the Persona series, um, the Final Fantasy series before 11, like 10 and before. You want a shout out? Duct taping unicorn wants a shout out. So there's your shout out. I don't do I know you? um so but yeah, big JRPG fan. Um I also what else am I really into? I love Near Automata. I guess that's technically a JRPG still, but Near Automata is one of my favorite games. Um, uh, let's see, but going, I mean, I've been playing games for years and years, so I probably played a little bit of everything. Um, how much do you know about Marcos Sauce? Never heard of him. Spyro on I had the original Spyro for PlayStation One. That's the only one I ever played in that series. Ever played Mass Effect? You kidding me? Of course. Of course, my girlfriend is an artist, and she's done a lot of she's painted some stuff for Mass Effect. I love Mass Effect, great series. Let's see, um, Mileko from Steelheart. Never heard of them. Man, you that's some obscure stuff. You give me some obscure singers. I don't know them. Final Fantasy, Circle Back to Floor Jansen, Metropole Opera, Sound of the Wind, Final Fantasy Chronicles. Interesting. I'll have to check that out. I will definitely check that out. Sounds cool. Yeah, Rainy's my girlfriend. Yeah, she's painted Talizora. You've done more than just Talizora, though, haven't you? I thought you were working on something else, Mass Effect related. My girlfriend's a great artist, by the way. So you should if you want to know about art stuff or what paintings done, she can do it for you. She's great. Fortnite, no. So here's the thing about Fortnite. I played the original Quake One, and there used to be this like format of Quake One, like back when we had dial-up internet in like the '90s, and there was like a battle arena, like a battle royale mode, basically, um, and it was like it was the same thing as what Fortnite is now. So I guess I just Fortnite reminds me of like Quake One. I mean, it doesn't really do anything for me. Steelhead in an '80s glam band. I didn't listen to. I don't listen to much '80s glam music. Quake One, you're really sure. Yeah, so yeah, me and my buddies used to get together and do like an actual like in person LAN We had LAN parties and actually played Quake 1 on LAN. And I remember the first time I ever went one, I didn't have an Ethernet card in my computer. So I didn't get to play. My first computer was a Pentium 1 133 with 48 megabytes of RAM and a 1 gigabyte hard drive and no graphics card. You could play Quake 1 at like 15 frames per second. Yeah, my first game ever was I got a regular NES when I was 5 years old, 1992. Do I have a pet? Yes, I have two cats. I have one cat named Muffin and one cat named Killer. They're outside right now though. Low. Okay, I'm glad that was funny. I don't know what I said that was so funny, but I'm glad that was funny. Whatever it was. Yeah, I didn't name Killer. I named Muffin, but I did not name Killer. As long as it does not mention a mention a Pentium 1. I had a Pentium 1. I don't know. Um, let's see. The Metroid Prime trilogy is my all-time favorite. You ever played the series? I haven't played Metroid Prime, no, but I played Super Metroid. I actually have been really lately getting into the Link to the Past slash Super Metroid randomizers. They're awesome. Um, favorite video game soundtrack? Either Near Automata, Persona 5 or 4. Not sure. They're both great. Or Final Fantasy 8. Those are my three favorite sound or four favorite soundtracks. Yeah, I had dial up when I was growing up. 28.8 was the fastest we got. Um, let's see. What is my PC specs? What processor did I put in this? I can't remember. Hold on a minute. I've been building computers for a long time. I did computer repair for several years when I was younger, so I'm somewhat well versed on computers. I just don't remember what processor I put in this thing. It is 60 i5 6600K, 16 gigs of RAM. I've got a 320 gig SSD, the Evo, Samsung Evo, the M9, and I've got a 1080 NVIDIA GeForce 1080. Those are the important specs. Anyway, my microphone, I've got I've got a Rode NT1A microphone. And for my audio interface, these are Sennheiser HD 280s. And my audio interface, I've got a Focusrite 2i2. Um, let's see. Good questions. This is fun talking about this stuff. Mastodon, I can't get into Mastodon. I've tried. I've tried. I just can't get into Mastodon. Let's see. Movie soundtracks. That's a good one. Favorite movie soundtracks. Well, this is really kind of lame, but I really like when I was a kid, I loved the movie The Matrix. And so that soundtrack always stuck out to me as something I really enjoyed. But in terms of score, like in my favorite scores, um, Requiem for a Dream, Inception, um, American Beauty, um, those are my favorite movie soundtracks. Favorite movie ever? Probably Network by Patty Chayefsky. Either Network or I really enjoy Fight Club, and then American Beauty. Those are all, but probably Network. Network's probably my favorite movie ever. Um, let's see. Ironically, Network doesn't have any music in it at all. There's no score to it at all. Um, let's see. Anime Vocaloid pieces. I haven't listened to a lot of that stuff. I've kind of briefly heard a little bit of it, but I'd have to listen to it some more. You've met him with the primal. Yes. Oh, that scene is amazing, isn't it? Like, isn't that one of like the most the acting in that film is just like it's just exceptional. Like, I, I love it. That scene is like the first time I ever saw it. It like struck fear in me. Oh, such a great movie. I could watch that movie anytime. Good stuff. Let's see. The Witcher 3 soundtrack is extremely good. Yeah, I love it. It's a great game soundtrack. That game, like, I kind of like, I guess, when I listen to video game music, I like the repetitious stuff. Oh, Lost Odyssey soundtrack. If you've, oh my god, that game's soundtrack is incredible. If you've never played Lost Odyssey, you should play it first off. But second off, if you've never heard that soundtrack, oh my god, it's absolutely amazing. Like the Lost Odyssey soundtrack is one of the best for sure. Muffin Killer Duo. Yeah, it's a. I'll have to one of these days. I have to bring the cats up here and let you see them. Um, cool. Hunchback of Notre Dame from Disney Epics. Actually, I've never seen the Hunchback of Notre Dame. It's one of the few Disney movies I didn't watch as a kid for some reason. But I'm going to take off. I am getting hungry and I have some errands I need to run. So, wow, I was here an hour and a half. I was only expecting to spend an hour. I hope you guys had fun. And I'm going to start. I'm going to start doing this more often. I'm going to start doing 2 videos a week pretty soon, and I'm going to do this more often as well. Um, if you guys, I'm probably going to put a poll up for the cats. They're outside. They're running around outside. Um, but yeah, what was I saying? I'm going to put up another poll pretty soon about my next analysis, but there's a chance I won't be doing an analysis at all this upcoming week. Um, yeah, let me know. Make a vote in the poll and tell me who you want to who you want to hear me analyze next. Thanks for coming by, guys. Like this is awesome. I love it. Like I don't know, it's cool to talk to all of you. It's so much fun to me. So I hope you keep enjoying the content. And I'm gonna just let the floor thing go away. It'll be a blip on my radar, and I'm gonna make adjustments from there. But yeah, keep checking me out, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's been a blast, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye, y'all.